What's going on, GameDad fam? I'm Josh, the GameDad, and this is more Super Mario Bros. 3. Before I start the next level, I didn't give this background its due. It's a good theme. It's a short loop, don't misunderstand me. Like, as far as the difficulty involved, they kind of phoned that one in. But it's good. Longer doesn't necessarily mean better, especially when it comes to game music. Not to say a game song can't be, you know, like, engrossing. I think my favorite example of that, of a game that was like... Oh, okay. That's to trip you out. I forgot about that. Right at the beginning, the game trips you out. It's like, hey, you remember in Mario 1, that one time you had to run through Bowser's castle in the right order of up, down, middle, or else you'd never get out of that section? Yeah, let's do that again. And I was like, no! Okay, so that star only appears if you've got star power. Dang it! Thought I could maybe dodge my way out of there. Oh, no! 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 And I ended on a star. Sometimes that one's for me. Sometimes it feels good for me. Bump all of y'all. And sometimes I make a star with a mushroom hat. Yeah, a little bit of both. Oh good, a combination of water and an auto-scroll level, aka everyone's two favorite things in Mario. Hey, you remember last episode where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have to deal with any more water levels, guys. I'm gonna use my froggy suits. Womp womp! Okay. So, clearly I'm on top of it. Listen, if you guys are watching me still this far in, be it in the sense of this far into this playthrough, or this far into my doing YouTube, or for some of you this far into knowing me as a person, I think at this point it's pretty safe to say you are not watching me because I am the best gamer you know. You're watching me because it's the better alternative. Apparently, maybe, theoretically, I don't know. But definitely not because I'm the best option. Definitely not because I'm the best option as far as a gamer. Let's just call that what it is. Try going in. Is it? No, it's the same place, just... I'm in a prison. I'm in Koopa prison, underground. It's a little morbid, you know? Stirring a riveting indictment of private prisons and the economy that flourishes thereof. No! Mario seen here, making his way through the underground as a freedom fighter. I don't really even know what I'm saying anymore, but... No! I can beat it without a power-up. I can beat it without a power-up. Especially because I'm about to get a power-up. I think. I'm not really sure, but... if I call it into existence. It's like The Secret. For those who are unaware of The Secret, they put it on Netflix like it's some brand new thing, like it hasn't been around, oh, I don't know, freaking 20 years. Spoiler alert, The Secret is if you say something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If I say I'm the bestest ever enough, and I really believe that with all my heart, I'm gonna be the bestest ever. You call upon the universe Listen, you believe what you believe, okay? I am... Far be it for me to insult anyone's beliefs. I'm a dude playing Vigima games online for chuckles and guffaws. Okay? I am not an expert on belief patterns. I know what I believe, but that being said, I am entitled to say, LOL, it's moi sillies. Personally speaking. Also, speaking of things to believe, so I've been talking with a few friends lately, and you know what I think there needs to be? I think there needs to be like a Pastor Pete, the Nintendo pastor, like a pastor who keeps referencing video games as he tries to impart life lessons on people. You know, guy's gonna be like, you out here focused on Kingdom Hearts, but what you need to focus on is having your heart in the kingdom. Cause I know there's only one king I serve, and his name ain't Mickey. Can I get an amen? Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe, people out here focus on Call of Duty, but you called to a higher duty. Out here on the battlefield for the Lord. Something along those lines. Yeah. Play with it as you will. But I just feel like that should be a thing. I don't know if it is a thing, but it certainly should be a thing. Okay. Granted, it kind of sounds like, you know, when a youth counselor is trying to appeal to young children, or not necessarily young children, but younger children in like a youth group. But being like, hey guys, did you know Jesus was like the Logic and Post Malone of his time? And you're like, of course I did, of course I did, Pastor Dave. Yeah, whatever. Sure. He busts out an acoustic guitar. You're a good father. It's for the love of God, guys. That's why he saved you. That's why he made you. I am on a tangent here. Trying to get them extra lives, you don't realize you got one life, and it's for God. I'm not stressed because of the winning the level. I just don't know what I'm saying or doing anymore. And I'm trying to figure out approximately how much of that is coming across in the video. Because I feel like it should be a good measure. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to talk about something that I feel like should be talked about. And that's accessibility in games. And I don't mean like in the disability accessibility sense, although that is a good thing. And super props to Xbox for having come out with their adaptive controller for accessibility means. That is an awesome step. And it really should be the norm that we have access to that kind of stuff. But, no, I'm going to talk about, and I do want to emphasize, because I've gotten into these kind of discussions with people in, say, some Facebook groups and things like that. I don't want anyone to feel called out about what I'm about to say. It's just, you know, I have a platform to talk. Some people may disagree with my points, but I feel like this is a good point to be able to kind of use actual talking to properly explain my point on something. And that is difficulty in games. And specifically, I'm going to be referring to, like, the Dark Souls and the Soulsborns, Dark Souls, Bloodborns, and with it now being out, the Sekiros of the world. I would like to start off by saying that Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Sekiro, they don't need an easy mode. And I'm going to stress that word. And for those of you who watch Jim Sterling, hey, 5 more lives. For those of you who watch Jim Sterling, what I'm about to say is going to sound very similar to a point he recently made, but I say it just because it's so well put together what I was feeling, and I just want to expand upon it. 20. One of these coins things was 20. Cool. I think this was a shroom and that was a star. Flower. Okay. Okay, I'm remembering. Shoot. Ho! Dang it. So I'm gonna add a little more to it. And this will go with the most recent one, Sekiro. Sekiro doesn't need an easy mode. Sekiro stands as a game on its own without an easy mode. I'm also, however, going to say Sekiro doesn't not need an easy mode. There's no real good argument for why Sekiro couldn't have an easy mode. And I know everyone's going to say the game was made to have a certain artistic feel, and the struggle is part of that. Alright, cool. But here's my thing. If you yourself would not end up using an easy mode, what does it do to you to have it? Like, a lot of people get upset about the idea of it including an easy mode and saying, like, it cheapens the experience. But how does it? I love Soulsborne games. They're fun. I love the difficulty of it all. I mean, I sit here and I'm playing this kind of stuff, but on stream, I'm playing randomized Zelda Link to the Past so that I don't know what I'm doing, so that I have to struggle, so that I have to go into the Dark World with 6 hearts and go fight, blind to figure out what I'm doing, because that's fun for me. I love the idea of, of playing a hard mode mod for, say, Final Fantasy Tactics, or for, any game I love. I like tweaking the challenge and making it difficult. Almost by default, when I end up playing Final Fantasy VI, I almost always end up making it a challenge just because of my OCD nature. I sit here and... what? Yeah, I make it into a challenge for myself because I go and I do low level early in the game so that I can make sure to get a lot of the best stat boosts. Because I like my guys being stronger. And so I end up, making it difficult on myself just because that's how I like to play. Sometimes I'll level up just to be like, whatever, I want to just blitz through the game. I just enjoy the game. I haven't played it in a minute. I want to have some fun. But for the most part, that's not my default state. My default state is I'm going to low level it so that I can get the better stats, so that, sure, maybe later on I can steamroll it, but for right now, I'm about to cruise through dudes. I mean, I'm about to struggle. Or not quite the opposite. I'm about to struggle through some of these early dudes because I I do not have the stats or the health to beat him and things like that. And, you know, figuring it out. One of my favorite parts about doing an Excalibur 2 perfect game in Final Fantasy IX, which I'm stupid enough to have done once, by the way. If you ever have the chance, literally anything else. Literally anything else is a better choice than that. One of my favorite things about it is figuring out how to beat bosses with super low health. Like, even if nothing else, even if you're not getting into your attacks and whatnot, because you have other options, surviving is great. So I'm going off on a change, basically saying, I love hard games. If there was a hypothetical easy mode in any of the Soulsborne games, or Sekiro, I would not use it. I want to start off with that point. And that kind of forms the foundation of my point. I wouldn't use it. I would still play the normal or hard difficulty. As long as the game is still built around its original premise of difficulty, though, it doesn't hurt you to have an easy mode there. And it may really help someone else. Now, a lot of people sit here and say, well, no, you should just get good, scrub. And I get that. And it's gone from being just like a joke meme to things that people actually say for real because it's actually how they feel. But some people legitimately can't get good. They're just not able to. I've said in a past thing that my wife likes playing Street Fighter, but she just literally is not able to figure out how to get really good at complex button presses. So, you know, I cater my playing to her, and I don't play with her the same as I would if I was, say, in a tournament. Now, granted, you could argue, okay, that's my wife. But in that case, you know, I'm choosing to do that. You're right, but that all the more makes my point. I'm not asking you to change how, you know, no one's asking you to change how you play. If you want to still struggle and throw yourself against bosses 50, 60, 70, 100 times until you learn and master the systems, and so then you can come out on top, go for it. Literally go for it. Like, no one's stopping you. And again, I do still feel the game should be built with the same basic premise. The difficulty still should be there, because it's one of the things people enjoy about the games. If you start a game series based on a certain concept, you gotta stick with that. And so if difficulty is one of your main selling points, then by golly, you gotta keep the difficulty. But that doesn't mean you have to only keep the difficulty. You absolutely can, you know, evolve the way you make your game to make it accessible to more people. And when someone says, well, why? Accessibility isn't just good for the moral reasons. Accessibility isn't just good for the ethical reasons of more people should be allowed to have fun with it. Accessibility is good as a business model. The more people who can buy a game, the better. Because guess what? More people buying it means more people playing it. More people playing it means you get to enjoy your games more because they have more money with which to make the game, because they have more opportunities, because they're, you know, the developing studio decides to give them the opportunity for sequels and things like that. You know, Dark Souls games are great, but if it wasn't for a lucky break, we wouldn't have Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. Like, they found mainstream appeal. We may be on Dark Souls 4 if FromSoft had put an easy mode. And that's not to say the games are bad for not having them. Don't misunderstand me. I still love them. But more is better. And it's the argument I've often made. If it doesn't affect you, why would you even be bothered by it? Because that's honestly what it boils down to. You don't need to be affected by how someone else wants to have fun. You have fun the way you want, and let someone else have fun the way they want. I don't know, man. Part of this stems from, and what originally got me thinking about this was, one of my favorite game series is now defunct, more or less. Like, technically it's not, but it is. Like, they haven't put out a game forever, and frankly, if they did, given the company, I don't know if I would trust them. And that is, or at least, not even given the company, just, I guess better words, given the state of the company. Because they've actually been doing slightly better recently, but that's Konami, and more specifically, that's Suikoden. I love those freaking games. I do. 1 through 5. I literally love all 5 of them. I'm not a homer or anything, but legit, I love all 5 of those games. You can't get me to say any one of them is bad. I may have an order of preference for them, but I love all 5. There was originally supposed to be, I want to say 8. You know why there's not? Because the game series didn't sell that well. It didn't sell well enough for Konami to want to keep pursuing it. They disbanded the team. And that, mind you, wasn't about accessibility. That was because it was a slightly more niche game, and they didn't really market it properly for, you know, what it was, which is, it's a straight up and down the board, tried and true classic RPG. You gotta market that a little differently than you do, you know, Silent Hill. But I love those games. I'm not going to get to see the end of that story because of lack of the game, you know, being better in sales. And I'm not saying, and like I said, accessibility wouldn't really have changed that, but the point is, I used to have this feeling like I liked knowing about this series that almost no one knew about. And now I'm smart enough to go, man, I wish that everyone knew about it. I wish it was as popular as Mario. I wish it was as popular as Sonic. Wish it was as popular as as Smash Brothers or whatever. Because you know why? I'd still have it. I'd still be able to play new games. We would have number 7. We'd have number 8. I'd get to see the whole deal with Uber. I'd get to understand what's going on with Peshmerga. I'd get to understand all of it. I'd get to know what I want to know. I can't because the games didn't sell well. And so stop and think about that right now. Mentally, everyone's like, I'm not worried because it doesn't matter. Dark Souls isn't going anywhere. Okay. That's what people said about Telltale games. Telltale Games came out with the first Season 1 of The Walking Dead, the game, and people went ballistic for that game. Like, they thought, okay, this is the new hotness. And Telltale themselves made everything out of their same engine, made everything out of that same engine. Poop. Telltale made everything with that same engine. Telltale kind of just rehashed the same thing because people like this, we're gonna keep giving them this. But if you don't bring something new to the formula, people won't keep playing. Another good example of that, Call of Duty. Like, sure, it's still around, like, it's not like people don't play Black Ops or whatever, but Call of Duty isn't what it was, 8, 9, 10 years ago. It was the gaming franchise for a bit. A new Call of Duty game came out, and people legit camped outside for days to be the first ones to play it, and it's all they would play. And it was all that mattered. And now, I mean, yeah, you know, people care. But it's not the same. It's not nearly as big a deal. Even Call of Duty fans will tell you that. Because, you know, and mind you, in their case, they did change, but it's because if you bring the same thing to the table, you're going to start hitting a wall. Dark Souls is so rich, and it's perfect for adding an easy mode because it's so rich in lore and in the secrets the game hides from you and things like that, that it's like, you could still enjoy it so much, even if it was easier. I wouldn't. A good example of that is God of War for the PS4. I play the mess out of that game. I've thrown my face at every Valkyrie that comes, repeatedly. And it's a struggle. Or, if I would, you know, come in, you know, my wife could tell you, if I ran into a realm tear, and I'm like, oh, these enemies are purple strength. They're way stronger than I'm supposed to be at this point. Don't care. Throw myself at them, but proceed to throw myself at them over and over again until I'm victorious, despite my lack of levels for that point. And, you know, because I know that it's my ability will carry me further, and I want to do it that way. But not everyone does. I'm sure there's tons of people who are sitting here like, man, God of War would be so much more fun, and I would absolutely go buy it if it wasn't so difficult. And guess what? More people buying it, more likely to have a God of War 2. Sure, Sony Santa Monica has money to throw away now, but it's a lot easier for a studio to greenlight them instead of selling 2 million copies if the game sells 5 million copies. Yeah, I'm cheating. I don't care. You see these blocks up here? You know what they spell? They look like they're just a line, but they actually spell something. It's they spell, it's okay to cheat, Josh. We support you. Thanks, game. I support you too. So yeah, I've just been kind of ranting about accessibility for a bit now, but it's because, man, guys, this whole attitude of scrubs should just get good, like, forget about what the fact that it makes you a big steaming pile of jerk. Let's not even get into that part of it. It's just not smart. If you want to be able to play your games for the foreseeable future, you should want that. You should want them to make more. That extra 2 million sales, that's more games, that's more Oh! That's more DLC, that's more whatever. Pick your poison. Alright, guys, I've been rambling for a bit now, but I guess I'm going to do one more level. And I'll add one more point. It kind of dovetails into, a while back, they came out with Star Fox Zero, and it had a 0 difficulty mode. Like, literally, you couldn't die. And it was literally, for lack of a better way of putting it, it was a baby mode for babies. Okay? It was the kind of mode my kids would play so that they could enjoy Star Fox and feel like they were big kids, even though they weren't. And people got butthurt about that. Like, they were legit pissed. Like, how dare they do this? Only die-hard fans would like this game. And first of all, I'm gonna disagree with the average people and say Star Fox Zero was a fun game. It was clunky, and they probably didn't need to shoehorn in the wonky controls with the Wii U gamepad, but it was a fun game. But, you know, again, me, personally, I'm not gonna... I'm gonna get this level done before I turn this off. I'm not gonna use 0 difficulty. But I'm glad it's there. I have kids. I love the fact that my kids get to play it. I only have 1 leaf left. Do these... Okay, they do. Well, I'm cheating my way through this level just so I can get it done. That's what I get. That's on me. It's the same thing with how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has, I'm gonna cheat again, but this time I'm not gonna be stupid about it. Has, I have 6 altogether, so I'm fine. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a, has auto steering and auto acceleration. And people are like, oh, well, if the game's gonna play itself. Well, guess what? That's not for you and me. That's literally for people like my kids. They're 6 and 4 right now. Guess what? They're not able to win 200cc races. And you aren't able to do that at all on auto steering and auto acceleration. You're not able to find shortcuts. You're not able to drift well. Nothing. You're limited in what you can do if you have that on. But thank God my 4-year-old can sit next to me and play Mario Kart, and we can have that despite the fact that he's 4. He's not super technical when it comes to games. You know, that makes me, as a parent, so happy. And it doesn't affect someone else. Like, if you're a great Mario Kart player, trust me, you're not gonna lose to the kid using the... was that a star in the corner, or... Yeah. 1-up was here. You're not gonna lose to the kid using auto steering and auto acceleration if you're a good player. You will, however... But I will, as a parent, get the joy of being able to play with my kid for it. So it doesn't hurt you, and it greatly benefits someone else. That's what it boils down to. That's the whole easy mode argument in a nutshell. It doesn't hurt the people who won't use it, and it benefits other people. Which means things sell better, which makes it better for everyone. That's a good thing. But guys, I've been rambling for a while now. I've been kicking on 32 minutes. So I'm gonna go. But thank you guys so much for sitting here and listening to me ramble and yell at you for like 15, 20 minutes. And listen, comment below if you want a discussion, even if you disagree with me. I will absolutely get into a full discussion about it below. I would just kind of go on a high level and kind of getting everything out stream of consciousness. But I would love to get into a discussion with anyone about that. Hit a like if you liked it, hit a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want to see more. And otherwise, I'll catch you later, GameDad fam. Alrighty.